Hello and welcome to an incredibly special feature brought to you by EYFSHome. We are an early years educational programme funded by a UK government grant. We create free online learning activities enabling parents and carers to access support with homeschooling. This initiative launched earlier in the year as a response to the COVID-19 pandemic to help minimise the impact on young children's development during the lockdown. In addition to our learning activities, we have started collaborating with inspiring young role models to share their success through storytelling. Joining me today is Professional Rugby Union Player and highly rated scrum-half for the Exeter Chiefs, Jack Maunder. Along with the help of Sarah Griffiths, our Creative Learning Director and children's author, they have written a book titled Bounce Back Jack. The story follows 7-year-old Jack, who loves everything about sport. But when pursuing his dreams, things start to get tough and he is faced with a battle of self-belief. This inspirational tale teaches you how to be your own cheerleader, how to build resilience, and when challenges arise, how to bounce back. Hello, Jack. Thank you for joining me today.
Hi, Sarah. Lovely to be here.
How are you?
Yeah, all very well, thank you. All very well. Yeah, very excited about the book, to be honest. So everything's moving forward, and I think Sarah's done an unbelievable job, especially with Andy. So, yeah, really exciting times.
Oh, good. Oh, it's such a pleasure to have you with us and talk a bit more in detail about this incredibly exciting book. I guess first, I'd love to know how you got involved with EYFSHome.
So it actually started a long time ago, back in probably around April time, when I got a call from Andy, who used to go to the same school as we used to go to. So he got in touch with a person that we both knew. And he called me, and sort of earlier on, we talked about how we could help. And then sort of time went on, and then he came to me with this idea about the book. And it seemed too good to pass up, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a small world, isn't it? As well, with you both going to the same school. So what made you want to create this book then and share that story with us?
Yeah, I think it's a really important message, especially at the moment with everything that's going on. I think everyone has empathy with the children missing out on time at school, missing out on time with their friends, playing, just having a good time. So it was sort of, I could sort of look back and see what I would have been like probably in this moment, itching to get out, itching to play with my mates. Going a bit so crazy, annoying my parents beyond belief. And then I sort of thought about the wider impact of it and the importance of this time of just playing with your mates, having a good time, and building those sort of characteristics that you do when you're that age. And you're like a sponge at that age, and you take in as much information as you possibly can. And I think it's important now to look back and reflect for us a bit older, and just try and help as much as we can, and hopefully Bounce Back Jack will do that.
Definitely, I think so. What was your reaction when Sarah did the first reading?
I was a bit blown away, to be honest, because I didn't really know. I was terrible at English, and I'm dyslexic as well. So thank God she read it, because I think I would have had a bit more of a problem doing it. So, but no, it was awesome. I really didn't know what to expect, and she's absolutely smashed it out the park. Well, I think, and hopefully everyone else agree, that she's absolutely nailed it, and the artwork that's gone with it is unbelievable as well. It's even got the my old school colours in there, and local rugby club colours. So the detail and even the sports that have gone into it, I can really relate to, which is it's just awesome.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, I think she's got such a beautiful way with words. And I remember watching it. It really touched my heartstrings watching it back as well.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was lovely.
I think on my face that I can believe what's really going on. I couldn't believe how good it was.
Real magic moment there. And just a bit more information about the story. So it introduces young Jack, and it tells us of his difficulties playing sports, his trips and his falls, and that frustration with himself and his ability. Do you think this is similar to how you felt as a kid playing sports?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely the race. I'll tell you what, I'm not the quickest now, but even slower back then. I think all my mates now will tell you that I'm unbelievably slow. So yeah, definitely the race. I think every sort of every kid now, and all the boys that I play with now can, they've all got moments when they're growing up that they either didn't get picked for something, or they struggled in this, in a particular sport or area at school. And they've all managed to come through that and still continue on in their dream of playing professional rugby. So it's definitely something that everybody can relate to. Everybody has little bumps. Not everyone is good at everything, but everyone's good at something. So
Yeah.
I think that bounce back Jack's pretty accurate.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was pretty useless in the old running track, and probably still am. Yeah, I can definitely relate to it.
Yeah, I think everyone definitely can see that in themselves as well, because the book reiterates how cruel and unkind we can be to ourselves with our thoughts, and how sometimes we're blind to all the strengths that others see in us. And I guess, did you have that outlook on yourself at all when you were growing up?
Yeah, I think I've always said it's probably a strength, but probably growing up was definitely a weakness. Is that I really didn't think I was very good, to be honest. And it's one of those things that now you sort of look back and think that actually it was probably a good thing, because it meant that I had to work extremely hard, because maybe I wasn't as talented in other areas, or physically talented, as some of the others. But you have to turn that into strength, and work on bits that you love to do. And I was lucky enough that I loved to train and play with my mates, and sort of developed through that. But like you said in the book, it sort of talks about how everyone has their strengths, everyone has their weaknesses, and you've just got to bounce through it, and pick up from other people. One of your mates might be really good at this, and you just got to enjoy the fact that he's good at it, but also learn from him. And then your mate might not be as good as something that you are, and you can help him. So hopefully that resonates with the book.
Oh, definitely. I think one of the themes in the story that really resonated with me was that message of growing self-confidence and being kinder to ourselves when facing hardship. And something that the Royal Foundation are working towards tackling with mental health awareness is that stigma attached to admitting that we're struggling or showing any sign of vulnerability. We can see that suicide is the biggest killer of men under age 45, and 1 in 10 children will experience mental health difficulties before the age of 11. And so I guess my question here is as a professional public figure in the field of sport, playing rugby and representing that image of strength and masculinity, do you think it's important to show that more vulnerable and emotional side? And I guess, did you feel pressure hiding that as a child?
Yeah, obviously it is tough, and like you said, within rugby, told never to take a step backwards. You're told to front up physically and mentally to all these challenges that come your way, and that can be tough. Being constantly confronting everything and pushing yourself and putting yourself outside of your comfort zone constantly is, it is tough. And I think developing those skills and characteristics when you're younger, to be a bit more open and to self-reflect and to understand that it's okay to, not constantly have to, batter that door down and keep pushing yourself. And actually at times you can just say, actually, I just want to relax, I want to have fun, I want to do the things I want to do. It's okay to fail here, it's okay not to be great here. Is really important. And look, I think especially now more than ever, I did a lot of work at university with mental health and social media, and I think linking what you just said with the under 11s and the amount of mental health issues, I think we've got to be very careful now with social media and the effect that is having on young children. And being a bit younger, and you need to be able to develop those characteristics and strengths and sort of robustness earlier now, because you're exposed to sort of the darker side of social media pressure, or posts on Instagram and all these things, which can be extremely distracting and extremely harmful to young kids now. And it's just happening earlier and earlier and earlier. And that was also a major reason why I love the message of this book, because, you know, none of it's on social media. It's all outside. It's all about playing. It's all about developing all these skills outside. All about developing these, like, you know, resilience, and all these key, you know, as someone, as you said, with being in a professional environment, I would probably could have developed these a lot earlier, and it might have put me in better stead now with the challenge that you face. But I think, especially, like I said, with the social media, it's key now that kids understand, actually, you know, they might be on holiday and they might be having a great time, and you might be at home, but it's fine, and they might be having, you know, a brand new iPhone, and you don't. But it's, you know, it's all right. It's just, I think that's a real key point, is the fact that this is all about playing outside with your mates, with people that you love and enjoy playing with.
Getting back to nature, isn't it? I think you're completely right with that, like, innocence that's kind of lost now because young children are exposed to so much on social media. So it's nice to, like, get back to nature, and important things. Absolutely.
I think it's good. It's good for the, you know, it's good. It's got to be good for you, being outside and playing, and not being stuck inside and gaming and being on social media. You know, all the research is pointing towards that way. So
that constant comparison, you're always comparing to somebody else when really we should just be celebrating. And
you're always being judged, and every move that you make, you know, well, it's you know, that sort of thing of, if you don't take a picture of it, then you didn't do it, sort of thing. And that's just ridiculous. So hopefully that message is put across.
Definitely think so. And then in the stories, sort of as we get towards the end of the story, we meet that little red robin, and that's sort of that symbol of hope and that wise messenger. And he tells Jack not to give up, to count to 10, take a deep breath and try again. And we see the impact of those negative thoughts that they have on Jack. And then when the robin helps him build that self-belief, we reach like a turning point in the book. And I guess I wanted to know if there was maybe a turning point in your life you felt like you had a bit more trust in yourself and your ability with rugby.
I've been very lucky. I've had probably a few robins, so to speak.
Good.
And I think I was lucky enough that I probably got them quite early on. You know, there's a man called Charlie Guppy, who I've known since 12. There's the coaches at Exeter Chiefs. You know, they've been brilliant. And my mum and dad have always been brilliant, and they sort of share I've probably got my point of view from them, and you know, their views are shown in the book as well, because obviously the experiences that I've had. But yeah, back to your question.
Well, you said that you found when you heard the book, it was like your mum was reading it to you, like you've had that voice in your head.
Yeah, that was a weird moment. It's just, you know, like I said, there's a lot of all the messages in the book is effectively how I've been brought up, and the sort of messages from my parents around, you know, you've got to work hard, and I think hopefully that comes through in the book. Actually, you might not be the most talented, but you have to work hard at whatever you do, and if you want to do something, it's not going to take, you know, talent only gets you so far, and you've got to work hard, and you've got to put time and effort into the skill that you want to develop. So I probably, you know, I don't, there's not so much a moment. I think it's just lots of little lessons along the way, and lots of little dining room chats, and, you know, lots of dinner chats that I've had with my parents, that you pick up little bits along the way, if that makes sense. Because every situation is different. It's you know, I can only sort of speak through cricket and rugby, but there's so many trials, and there's so many you know, selections, and, you know, you're not going to make them all. So there was countless of times that, especially especially in cricket, well, and in rugby, to be honest, that you don't make the team, or you don't make that Devon squad, or you don't make that academy team. And there's lots of little chats that you have with your parents, and I think it's key now that sort of I know how I felt through those selection processes, and still do, because we still have a selection every week, and sometimes you're not in the team. It's sort of now I know how I felt when I was 11, 12, not being selected for those teams, and it's key to sort of pass on that knowledge, that you need to don't be so short focused, keep looking at the bigger picture, and everyone develops at different points. I'd mates who are massive at 12 and 13, and sort of now the rest of us have sort of slowly crept, and now we're all a similar size. So everyone's at different times, so don't get so down, especially when you're younger. As long as you're having fun and you're working hard and doing the things you love to do, you're pretty much halfway there.
Yeah, I completely agree. I definitely think it's about that working hard, and you can achieve anything you set your mind to. And you can see that your work ethos is really strong there. And I guess that kind of answers the last question I had for you, which was the kind of what key aspirations and messages you hope the book will spark in young children. And it sounds like a big one for you is that kind of determination to work hard and pick yourself back up again.
Yeah, I just, like we spoke about earlier, just it feels like now when you're younger, there's a hell of a lot of outside noise, a hell of a lot of bumps in the road, so to speak, whether it's through social media or you're having to sort of choose a lot earlier what you want to do, whether sport or academic or music. I know it focuses a lot on sport, this one, but really that's just because it's sort of what because it was obviously sort of my story, but
your passion and dream.
It equates to everything. The music, or my sister does loads of jewelry and she's amazing at it now, but it was tough for her at the start and she's had to work. So
you can apply that message to
you can apply that message. It doesn't have to just be about sport. I think that's probably a key message as well, that hopefully when people are reading it, or kids are reading it, they can see themselves in whatever they're doing. That hard work and determination and passion has to come into it as well. You have to be passionate about what you do, and you'll most of the time you'll come through it. So
oh, that's amazing. Oh, well, thank you so much. I guess last, if we finish with what we can look forward to maybe seeing from you next year, what's in the diary sort of in 2021.
Well, hopefully we can have a bit more fun.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, we'll wait and see.
Plenty of matches.
So we've obviously just kicked off our European campaign and our Premiership campaign, and obviously the end of last season was awesome, winning the 2 trophies, but that means that this year is going to be probably even tougher because everyone's going to come after us. So sort of just taking it week by week now, and trying to keep getting better every day, to be honest, with rugby, but also trying to have a bit of fun outside and surf and fish and have a good time with my mates as well. So there's I suppose with everyone as well, there's not too much you can there's no holidays booked or anything like that, so,
not much we can do.
Not much we can do. So but luckily with rugby it's going to be thick and fast for the next about 6 months. It's going to be there's a game every weekend, so hopefully stay fit and healthy and hopefully play rugby.
That's so exciting. Oh well, I feel like everyone's in the same boat and they just want to start the new year off with a bang and keep active and outdoors.
Hopefully the weather turns good and everyone can.
Hope so. Oh well, it's been such a pleasure speaking with you today, Jack.
And you, thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, you're welcome. I guess all that's left for me to say is that I hope those that are watching or listening have enjoyed this as much as I did. Over the coming weeks, Bounce Back Jack, the book, will be available to buy via Amazon, and all proceeds will be going to Jack's chosen charity, the DSA, which stands for the Down Syndrome Association, which you can follow on Twitter. You can also subscribe to our newsletter for updates or visit our website at www.eyfshome.com. If you have any questions or want to drop us a message, please feel free to email info@eyfshome.com or keep an eye out on our Facebook, Twitter and Instagram pages for all the news around this very exciting book launch and the activities and events planned to celebrate this wonderful collaboration. Until then, thank you for listening and take care.